The night the moon was a target. October 1957. The world looks up at the night sky and hears a rhythmic beep, beep, beep. The Soviet Union has launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. For the United States, it wasn't just a scientific achievement. It was a psychological defeat of terrifying proportions. The red moon was orbiting above American soil, and the Pentagon was desperate for a comeback. The Americans didn't just want to catch up. They wanted to surpass the Soviets in the most dramatic way possible. They didn't want to just orbit a satellite. They wanted to mark the moon itself. A secret project was born at the Air Force Special Weapons Center in New Mexico. Its name was Project A119, or a study of lunar research flights. The goal was simple, but insane. Detonate a nuclear bomb on the Terminator line, the boundary between the dark and light sides of the moon. They wanted to create a massive cloud of lunar dust that would catch the sunlight and be visible to every human being on Earth with the naked eye. It was meant to be the ultimate show of force. To hide the true nature of the project, the Air Force recruited a team of elite scientists under the guise of astronomical research. Among them was a young, brilliant doctoral student named Carl Sagan. Decades before he became the world's most famous science communicator, Sagan was calculating the behavior of a nuclear dust cloud in the moon's low gravity. The project lead was Dr. Leonard Reifel. His team had to solve a logistical nightmare: how to get a heavy W25 nuclear warhead to the moon. In 1958, rocket technology was still in its infancy, and the risk of a launch failure meant the possibility of a nuclear disaster on American soil before the missile even left the atmosphere. They chose the W25 warhead specifically because it was light. It had a yield of 1.7 kilotons, small by Earth standards, but more than enough to create a spectacle on the moon. They weren't just testing physics, they were testing the limits of human ego. Detonating a bomb on the moon is nothing like detonating one on Earth. Without an atmosphere, there is no fire, no mushroom cloud, and no sound. There is only a blinding flash of light and a massive, violent ejection of lunar soil. Carl Sagan's job was to calculate exactly how that dust would behave. In the moon's weak gravity, the debris would travel much further and stay aloft longer. The Air Force wanted that dust to form a massive ring around the moon, illuminated by the sun, making it look like the moon itself was glowing red. But some scientists on the team were horrified. If the U.S. detonated a nuclear device on the moon, it would contaminate the lunar surface with radiation forever. Any future moon landings, any search for life or ancient water, would be ruined by the very experiment designed to show off American power. There was also the fail factor. If the rocket exploded during launch or failed to leave Earth's orbit, a live nuclear warhead would come crashing back down to Earth. The U.S. government was literally gambling with a nuclear accident on home soil just to win a PR war. In 1959, the project was abruptly canceled. The official reason? The Air Force decided the risk of a launch failure outweighed the propaganda benefits. But the real reason was likely the realization that the public might not be impressed by the destruction of the moon. They might be terrified. Instead of blowing up the moon, NASA was formed, and the goal shifted from destruction to exploration. The U.S. decided that putting a man on the moon was a far more powerful message than putting a crater in it. Project A119 was buried so deep that it wasn't even declassified until 45 years later. For decades, Project A119 was a myth. It only came to light in the late 1990s when Dr. Leonard Riefel finally spoke out. The world was shocked to learn that the peaceful 60s space race almost started with a nuclear detonation on our only satellite. Perhaps the strangest part of the story is Carl Sagan, the man who taught us to love the pale blue dot and the billions and billions of stars, started his career calculating how to nuke a world. It's a reminder that even the greatest minds can be swept up in the madness of war. Project A119 stands as a warning. It shows how close we came to scarring the heavens forever in the name of pride. Today, the moon remains pristine, a silent witness to a history that almost took a much darker turn. Next time you look up at the moon, remember, we didn't just want to reach it, we almost broke it. Thanks for watching our Atomic series. Subscribe for our next investigation, where we dive into the Project Azorian, the CIA's insane plan to steal a sunken Soviet nuclear submarine from the bottom of the ocean using a giant mechanical claw. You won't believe it's real.